always do. So find yourself in a comfortable seated position. Maybe that means kneeling on a block or a pillow, or maybe that means sitting cross-legged today. Whatever works for your hips this afternoon or this morning is totally fine. You just want to find a space that you can sit really tall without exerting too much effort. And once you've found your comfortable seated position, just let your eyes close. Try to relax your face, so bring your attention to your forehead, eyebrows. Make sure that all the little muscles around your mouth are relaxed. And make sure that the jaw is relaxed. And then just begin to notice your breath. So without changing anything, just be aware of how you're breathing at the beginning of class. And then we'll slowly transition into Dirghaswasana, the complete three-part yogic breath. If it helps you, you're welcome to put one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. And with your next inhalation in through your nose, draw the breath all the way down into your belly, feeling the abdomen expand. And as you keep inhaling, let the rib cage expand, and finally let the chest lift up. And exhale in reverse, let the chest fall down, rib cage draws in, and navel draws back towards the spine. And inhale again, let the belly expand, rib cage expands, and chest lifts up. And exhale in reverse, chest falls down, rib cage draws in, and navel goes back towards the spine. And one more time together, inhale into the belly, ribs, and chest. And exhale, chest down, ribs in, navel back towards the spine, emptying out the lungs. And then inhaling again at your own pace now, letting your inhalations be long and smooth and even. Really think about the inhalations being the same length as the exhalations, maybe counting it out, maybe 3 or 4 counts on the way in and 3 or 4 counts on the way out. And if you'd like to, you're also welcome to add a hold at the top and bottom of the breath. So maybe 2 or 3 counts at the top and 2 or 3 counts at the bottom, just pausing in that space where you're neither inhaling nor exhaling. And by breathing like this, these long, smooth, conscious breaths, we're stretching the intercostal muscles and activating the parasympathetic nervous system, really signaling to the body to slow down and be present in yoga class. The next time that you exhale all the way, let the following inhalation be easy and natural. And then let your eyes float open. And let your hands come back down to your lap if you had them on your chest and your belly. And then we'll just start warming up the joints of the neck and the shoulder. So let your chin fall down towards your chest. Feel a really gentle stretch into the back side of your neck. And roll your head over towards the right, so your right ear is coming down towards your right shoulder. Now the stretch is in the left side of your neck. Keep both shoulders coming down towards the ground. And then roll the head over and around to the left. So the left ear is coming down towards the left shoulder. Do a big stretch into the right side of the neck. Still keeping both shoulders coming down. Roll your head all the way down toward your chest and continue around, making a couple of really big circles with the crown of the head, being really careful But keep the back of the neck long as you reach the head backwards so that you're not crunching into the cervical spine. The next time your chin is down towards your chest, pause there, and then rotate the head in the other direction, moving the head around to the left, really big, smooth circles, keeping the back of the neck really long and safe. And the next time your chin is down toward your chest, pause. We'll interlace the fingers and bring them to the very base of the skull and just apply very gentle pressure. So the chin is coming a little bit closer to the chest. Slightly bigger stretch into the backside of your neck. Then release the hands and just let the head come back up to neutral. And we'll start warming up the shoulder joints. Roll your shoulders backwards. And then bring your hands to your shoulders, roll your elbows backwards. And then we'll swim the arms backwards, following the hands with the eyes as we reach the hands backwards, so that each time that we reach back is a really small spinal twist. And then swim the arms forwards, still following the hands with the eyes, so that each reach is a small spinal twist. And then hands to shoulders, roll your elbows forwards. And then relax your hands down, just roll the shoulders forwards. Relax the shoulders. We're going to come into a table position on the mat, so stacking the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. We'll start by warming up the ankles and the wrists. So just lift the feet up off the mat and roll the ankles in one direction. And then switch directions. And point and flex the feet. And then place the feet back on the mats. And then for the wrists, we'll turn the hands outwards so the wrists are facing forwards now. If it makes it a little bit more comfortable for you, you're welcome to tuck your toes on the mat. And then we'll send the hips back towards the heels so that the tops of the hands are really bending towards the tops of the arms. And this should bring a really big stretch into the front of the forearms, the wrists, and into the hands. And then we'll come back up to our table, and keeping the fingers pointing back towards the knees, we'll just take the hands over. So the top of the hand is on the mat now. And same thing, we'll send the hips back towards the heels. And now the fingers are coming towards the fronts of the forearms. And we're starting to have a stretch into the tops of the hands and the wrists and the tops of the forearms. And then come back up to the table, untuck the feet if they were tucked. Place the hands flat on the mat with the fingers facing forwards. And then to kind of roll that out, we'll just roll the shoulders over the wrists. And then pause, switch directions. And we'll pause in a neutral table. Take a nice big inhalation here. And exhale, round the spine up towards the ceiling, pressing into the shins, the knees, and the hands to send the spine up as high as you can. Big stretch into the back side of the body for your cat pose. And then with an inhalation, drop the belly down towards the ground, lift the head and the hips, look forward. This time it's a big stretch into the front side of the body for your cow pose. And then exhale, reverse cat pose. And inhale to your neutral table. From here, we're going to keep the hips right over the knees and just walk the hands out in front of us. And lower the chest down towards the ground for puppy pose. If you have a really bendy back, you may be able to put your chest and your chin on the ground, but you might not feel a stretch into your shoulders. If that's the case, if you have your chest on the ground and you don't feel a stretch into the shoulders, engage the core to draw the rib cage in and straighten out the back, and then keeping the back straight, send the chest down, and this should be a much bigger stretch into the shoulders. And everybody walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Take another round of cat-cows. Take a big inhalation in your table pose. Exhale for your cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. And inhale to your neutral table. From your table pose, take your hands out 1 hand length from where they are. Tuck the toes on the mat and send your hips up and back to your downward facing dog pose. And in this first down dog pose of the day, you pedal out the feet, stretch it to one side at a time. Take any motion that you need to really start opening up the back side of the body, paying attention to any places that might feel extra tight, taking note so that you can take care of those places as you move through the rest of your practice. And then from your downward facing dog, you're going to shift the chest forward so that the shoulders are right over the hands. Taking a really nice long plank pose. And if you need to adjust your hands or your feet here, make it a little bit longer so that you can have your shoulders, hips, and heels in one straight line. You can do that. And then keeping the hands and the feet exactly where they are, send the hips up and back to your downward facing dog. And maybe this is a slightly longer downward facing dog than you set up the first time. And then come onto the balls of the feet, so lift the heels up as high as you can, and then keeping the hips up really nice and high. Press into all 10 fingers and the palms of the hands to send the chest back towards the thighs. So you're getting into a really small, tight V pose, closing up the downward facing dog. And then keeping everything else the same, only moving the feet, lower the heels down to the ground. So this should be a really extended downward facing dog and a really nice big stretch for the back side of the legs. And then take little steps forward. Each time that you take a step forward, put the heels down on the ground. When that becomes too difficult, walk your hands back towards the feet, coming into a standing forward fold. And it's absolutely fine to have a bend in the knees. In this first forward fold, hang forward, relax the head and the neck. If it's more comfortable for you, hold on to the elbows with the hands for ragdoll pose, and just relax forward. Try to relax the lower back, relax the belly. Notice any muscles that are tightening to hold you up and out of the pose, and try to relax into that. You can sway from side to side. Again, looking for any places that might be extra tight. And being really mindful of those places. In this forward fold, you're welcome to shake the head yes and no. Make sure that the neck and the shoulders are really relaxed. Really just let gravity do the work here. Just surrender into this forward fold. And then if you are holding onto your elbows, just relax the hands back down towards the ground. Make sure that you have at least a small bend in the knees, And then slowly roll up the stand, stacking the vertebrae one on top of the next, moving really slow and carefully with the head and neck coming up last. And when you've reached standing, if you're not quite at the front of your mat, we're going to take a step forward so that you have the whole mat to work with. And we'll start doing some sun salutations to warm up. So with an inhalation, bring the arms up alongside the ears. Exhale, deep forward fold, keeping the back long for as long as possible, and then rounding the spine to put the hands on the ground. Inhale, extend the spine, look forward, maybe bring the hands to the shins, and then exhale, step back to your plank pose. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, down. Inhale, medium cobra. Exhale, down. Inhale, cobra. So pressing into the hands to lift the chest as high as you can with the pelvis still on the ground, elbows coming back towards each other, shoulders down away from the ears. And then exhale, back down. And then inhale, press into the tops of the feet, press into the hands, upward facing dog, keeping the shoulders down and back away from the ears. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands and take a big step to the front of the mat. Extend the spine nice and long. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand. And exhale, the hands together in front of your heart. 2 more just like that. Inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extend nice long spine. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, shift the weight forward. And exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale, little cobra pose. You don't need your hands for this one. Exhale, down. Inhale, medium cobra pose. Exhale, down. Inhale, cobra pose. And exhale, down. Inhale, press into the tops of the feet, upward facing dog pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands and take a big step to the front of the mat. Extend nice and long, and then exhale for the forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand, arms up. And exhale, hands together in front of the heart. 1 more like that. Inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extend, nice long spine. And exhale, plank pose. Inhale, forward. Exhale, down to the ground. Inhale, little baby cobra pose. Exhale, down. Inhale, medium cobra pose. Exhale, down. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, down. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, back. Inhale, look between the hands. Big steps to the front of the mat. Extend nice and long. And exhale, fold. Inhale all the way to stand. And exhale, hands together in front of your heart. Inhale here. And exhale, mountain pose. Grounding down to the feet, shoulders down and back. Chest lifted, crown of the head lifted. And just a couple breaths in stillness, feeling really grounded down through the feet and lifted up from the crown of the head. We'll do a couple more modified sun salutations, but these will be a modification of Surya Namaskara B. So with an inhalation, bring the arms up alongside the ears. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extend, look forward. Exhale, step back to your plank pose. Inhale, send the chest forward. And exhale, bend into the elbows, bring the elbows to the rib cage. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot between the hands to a lunge. Take a low lunge, lower the left knee down to the ground. Bring the arms up alongside the ears. You can look slightly up, big stretch to the front side of the body. And then exhale the hands down to either side of the right foot. Step the right foot back to your plank pose and lower straight down to your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot between the hands to that same low lunge. Drop the right knee down. Bring the arms up alongside the ears. So look slightly upwards. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands. And step to the front of the mat. Extend the spine. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand. Arms up alongside the ears. And exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, extend, nice long spine. Exhale, back to your plank pose. Inhale to send your weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot between the hands to a lunge, but keep the left knee up this time. Bring the arms all the way up alongside the ears for a full crescent pose. Look slightly up and back. Big stretch along the front side of the body. Exhale, the hands down to either side of the right foot. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward. Inhale, step the left foot between the hands to a lunge. Crescent pose on the left side. The right heel is standing up off the ground for now. Big stretch, front side of the body, look a little bit upwards. And then exhale, hands down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward. Inhale, look between your hands. And step all the way to the front of the mat. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way to stand, arms up alongside the ears. And exhale, hands together in front of the heart. One more like that. Inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, extend, long spine. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, bring the chest forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot between the hands again. This time, lower the left heel down to the ground. And bring the arms up alongside the ears for warrior one pose. Exhale, the hands down to either side of the right foot. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot between the hands. Lower the right heel down to the ground. Warrior one on the left side. And then exhale, the hands down. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between the hands. Step to the front of the mat. Extend first. And exhale, deep forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand, arms up. And exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale here. And exhale, mountain pose. Taking a couple breaths here in stillness. Noticing sensation in the body. Observing the breath. Observing your heart rate. Taking stock of heat that you've built during your Surya Namaskara A's and B's. Really noticing the work that you've done and appreciating that. And we'll do a few more sequences. So with an inhalation, bring the arms up alongside the ears. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, extend long spine. And exhale, you can step or hop back now to your chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll step the right foot between the hands. Lower the left heel down to warrior one. And again, bring the arms up alongside the ears to warrior one. We'll stay here a little bit longer this time. So really think about the alignment. Look down at your right knee. Try to bring the right knee over the right ankle. Check the left hip. Try to bring the left hip a little bit more forwards. Think about the hips being a little bit tucked. So you're engaging the core. Bring the ribs down towards the hips. So shortening the space between the ribs and the hips. Back leg's really extended long. You have weight in both sides of the left foot. And then you can bring the arms up. Try to keep the rib cage down, even as you bring the arms up. Keep the shoulders down. And then we'll straighten the right leg. And we will fold forward over the right leg. Engaging the core to keep the spine long. And then finally, you can lower the hands down towards the ground or onto a block if you need a block. And folding over the front leg in a modified pyramid pose. Really big stretch for the back of the front leg. Keep pulling the left hip forward, right hip back, so you're squaring the hips even as you fold forward. Then to come out of this pose, we're going to bend into the right knee, engage the core, and then lift the arms back up to our warrior one. Take one more big inhalation in your warrior one. You can reach up, and exhale, fold forward. Bring the hands down either side of the right foot, and we'll step the right foot back to a plank, but we'll keep that right foot lifted. Hover that right foot above the ground. Inhale to send the chest forward, keeping the right foot up. Exhale, chaturanga, right foot up. And then inhale, lower the right foot down, flip the left, lift the chest, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Same thing on the other side, we'll step the left foot between the hands to a lunge. Lower the right heel down to the ground, getting ready for warrior one. Bring the arms up alongside the ears, warrior one. And then we'll take a couple moments to really square this up. So look at your left knee, make sure the left knee is over the left ankle. Think about the right hip pulling forward, left hip back. So your hip points are really square to the front edge of the mat. Then tuck the hips a tiny bit. Really think about the ribs coming down towards the hips so the core is engaged. And then keeping that engagement through the core, raise the arms up alongside the ears. And as the arms come up, try to keep the ribs down, keep the shoulders down. And we'll straighten the left leg. Fold forward over the left leg, using the core straight to keep the body nice and long. And then slowly lowering the hands down towards the ground, planting the hands to draw the torso down towards the leg. Trying to keep thinking about that right hip coming forward, left hip back. Keep squaring the hips towards the short edge of the mat to make this a really big stretch for the back side of the left leg. And to come out of this pose, bend into the left knee, engage the core to lift the hands back up to the warrior one. Take one more big inhalation here, lift the chest, you can look a little bit upwards, and then exhale, bring the hands down to the ground, left foot hovers, exhale chaturanga, inhale both feet on the ground, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands, and step or take a little hop to the front of the mat. Extend nice and long, and then exhale, fold forward. In this forward fold, we're going to bend the knees, put the chest on the thighs, and we'll take the hands and put them all the way underneath the feet. So your toes are coming all the way up to your wrists. And once the hands are all the way under the feet, so your toes are really lifted, then gently begin to straighten the legs. The legs may or may not become straight, either is fine. If the legs do straighten, you can bend the elbows out to the side. So the chest starts coming closer to the legs. Try to keep the shoulders in the shoulder sockets as much as possible. Let your head relax down. And release the hands out from underneath the feet. And with an inhalation, we'll come all the way back up to stand. Bring the arms up alongside the ears. And then exhale the hands down alongside the hips. Okay, we'll do a standing balance pose. So we're going to take the right leg first, up. So we'll ground into the left leg. We really want to make a lot of space underneath us. So we spread that left foot out so it becomes the biggest platform possible for us. So that might even mean lifting up the toes, spreading out the toes, and then putting the toes back down on the mat. Then we'll lift the right knee up into the chest. If you want to, you can stay here. You can just hold onto the knee. If you're feeling pretty steady, you can extend this by taking the right hand to the inside of the right knee. Grab the right big toe with your peace fingers, so your two peace fingers on the inside of the right big toe. Left hand can come to the left hip, and then extend the right foot straight out in front of you. From here, we're going to release the right foot, but keep it as much in the same place as you can. We want to keep the shoulders over the hips as much as possible as well. So try not to lean backwards. And then keeping the hands on the hips, we're going to lower the right foot, keep it just above the ground as you fold forward. Try and keep the body straight. Coming into a modified warrior 3. And then we'll place both hands on the ground. And with both hands on the ground, we're going to fold the body towards the bottom leg and lift the top leg up as high as is comfortable for us. So sometimes this is called standing split, but it doesn't always look like a standing split. So another name for it is toppling tree, which I think is a little bit more reasonable. So think about yourself just toppling forward over the standing leg. If you want to challenge your balance here, you're welcome to put one hand onto the ankle or both hands onto the ankle. Or you can keep the hands on the ground. Really, we want this pose to be a big stretch for the back side of the left leg. So the standing leg should really be feeling a good stretch. And then we're going to walk our hands a couple inches in front of the left foot. And we're going to take a couple hops. So when we hop, we want to send that right foot up towards the ceiling and really think about the right foot reaching towards the ceiling more than anything else. So we'll take 3 nice hops here. Right foot towards the ceiling for 1, right foot to the ceiling for 2, and right foot towards the ceiling for 3. And then we'll step the right foot back to our plank pose. Left foot steps to a hover. Inhale forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, both feet down. Upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands. Step to the front of the mat. Nice long spine. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand. And exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhale here. And exhale, mountain pose. And then we'll take the same thing on the other side. So now grounding down to the right foot, making a really nice big platform for the right foot. Thinking about all 4 corners of the foot grounding down into the ground. And once we have that connection, bring the left knee up towards the chest. You can just hold the knee and stay right here for this part of the pose. If you're feeling steady, take the right hand to the hip. Left hand takes the left big toe in a peace finger grip, and then extend the left foot straight out in front. And then keeping everything the same as much as possible. Let go of the left foot, left hand to the left hip. Keep the left foot nice and high, shoulders over the hips. Try not to lean backwards. And then we'll be a little lever, a little fold forward. Keeping the hands on the hips, coming into a modified warrior 3 on the other side. And then placing the hands down on the ground. For our toppling tree pose, folding forward over that bottom leg. Again, you're welcome to take any form of this balance. One hand, you can try one at a time, or you can take both hands. And this should be a big stretch for that bottom leg. Then we'll take our hops. So taking the hands in front of the leg, the standing foot. We'll take 3 nice hops, 3 nice hops. So ground the hands down and send the left foot up for hop number 1. And for hop number 2. And hop number 3. And then lower the left foot down to the ground. Step the right foot back to hover. Inhale forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, look between the hands. Step or hop to the front of the mat. Extend nice and long. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand. And exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale here. And exhale, mountain pose. Take a couple breaths here. And then we'll do another round of vinyasa. So bring the arms up alongside the ears. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extend long spine. And exhale, step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Then step the right foot up to your three-legged dog. Step the right foot between the hands to a lunge. Lower the left heel down to the ground. And cartwheel your arms up for your warrior two. So now think about the right knee being over the right ankle. Make sure you can see your right big toe. Try to keep your shoulders over your hips so you're not leaning forward or backwards. Pretty even. And we'll take another standing balance pose. We'll take a half moon pose in ardha chandrasana. So you have a couple choices here. You can bring the hands down to the ground first and come up in a couple steps. Or if you already know this pose and you want to come straight into it, you can reach forward, come straight up into your ardha chandrasana. If you're taking those steps and you had both hands on the ground, you're going to take the left hand to the left hip. We'll lift the left hip up, so the left hip is now stacked on top of the right hip. Left shoulder comes over the right shoulder, and the arms come up into one straight line. Keep the back leg engaged. Flex the foot. The back leg needs to be really strong in order to stay balanced. Think about how it's a lot easier to carry a board than a rope. Then we'll lower the left hand back to the ground, fold over the front leg, and again we'll take 3 hops. So for the first hop, left leg straight up, second hop, straight up, and third hop, if you stick it, you're welcome to go straight back to your chaturanga or come straight down to the ground. So if you send the left leg up, you can come to your chaturanga, or take your hop, and then we'll step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, down dog. Look between your hands. Step or hop to the front of the mat. Extend long spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand. And exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale here. And exhale, hands down alongside the hips. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, reach the arms up alongside the ears. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extend long spine. And exhale, step or hop, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we'll send the left leg up to your three-legged dog. Step the left foot between the hands to a lunge. Lower the right heel down for warrior two. Cartwheel the arms up, warrior two. So again, evening it out, making sure the left knee is over the left ankle. Make sure you can see your left big toe. And then shoulders are right over the hips. So finding nice stillness in your warrior two pose. It's an active pose, but in comparison to some of the other moves we've been doing, you can find a lot of serenity here. then from our warrior two, we're going to shift forward and come into our half moon pose, either straight into our half moon pose or taking it in 2 steps. So if you want to take it in 2 steps, we're going to lower the hands down in front of the left foot, raise the right leg up, then take the right hand to the right hip, open that up, and then send the right hand up so that we're nice and long here. Really thinking about the body being pretty flat, as if you were stepping between, or sorry, at least as if you were pressed between 2 pages of a book. And then we'll lower the right hand down to the ground. You can move back if you need more space. And we'll take a toppling tree over the left leg, folding forward. And then bringing the hands out in front of the left foot. We'll take 3 hops. So right leg goes up to the ceiling, really thinking about reaching the right foot towards the ceiling. That's the goal. So right foot up and back down. And right foot up and down. And then on the last one, if you wanted to go straight to chaturanga, you're welcome. Otherwise, we'll do it in 2 steps. So straight up and chaturanga, or up and step, chaturanga. And we'll inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing. With an inhalation, look between your hands, step or hop to the front of the mat, extend, and exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, and exhale the hands down. Okay, with an inhalation, bring the arms up alongside the ears. And as you exhale, bend into the knees, coming into your chair pose, sinking down. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, sink. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, sink. One more time, inhale, chest up. And exhale, sink. And then lower the hips all the way down to the ground. Okay. We'll take a boat pose. So for your boat pose, we're going to hold on to the backs of the thighs and lean backwards, making a really straight spine. And then we're just going to lift the feet up off the ground. And that might be where we stay today, it's totally fine. We really want to think about the straight spine more than getting the legs up. If you want to, you can lift the legs up, maybe all the way, keeping the spine straight. And if you want to, you can have the hands out, but really we're thinking about the shoulders being over the hips. So wherever you are in your boat pose, we're going to hold this for a couple breaths, engaging through the core, staying long through the spine. And from here, we're going to lower down to a low boat pose. So we're rounding the back now to keep the feet just hovering above the ground and the shoulders lifted up off the ground. We'll reach forward and we'll hold this for a couple breaths. You should definitely feel some sort of quivering through the midsection. That means it's working. And then we'll come back up to our boat pose. And take your hands again to the back of your thighs. We're going to take a big rock backwards and then rock all the way forwards to our chair pose. So rock all the way back and all the way to our chair pose. Take an inhalation, lift the chest. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, extend long spine. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between the hands. Step or hops in front of the mat. Extend nice and long. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand, arms up alongside the ears. And exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale here. And exhale, mountain pose, grounding down to the feet. And with our next inhalation, we'll come back up to a chair pose. So inhale, arms up, hips down. Exhale, sink. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, sink. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, sink. Last time, inhale, chest up. And exhale, all the way down to the ground. Hands behind the thighs. Chest up. You can send your hands out or keep them in. And lift your feet as high as you can, keeping the back straight. And again, we'll stay here for a couple breaths, engaging through the core, building heat, building strength. From here, we're going to lower low boat pose. Feet just above the ground, shoulders above the ground. Quivering should be happening. Just a couple breaths here. And back up to your boat pose. Hands behind thighs. We'll take a big rock back and a big rock forward, back to our chair pose. Take an inhalation with the chest. And exhale, fold. Inhale, extend long spine, look forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, look between the hands. Step or hop for the mat. Extend. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand, arms up alongside the ears. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale here. And exhale, mountain pose. One more round. Inhale, arms up, bend the knees, chair pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sit. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sit. Inhale, lift. Exhale, boat pose. Again, whatever version of this pose works best for you. So you can have the knees bent, you can hold on to the thighs, but really focusing on keeping the back straight, lifting through the chest. And then from our boat pose, we'll go to our low boat pose. Again, hovering feet, keeping the shoulders lifted. Definitely a lot of core action here. And back up. Hands between the thighs. Rock back. And all the way to your chair pose. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, extend. Exhale, last chaturanga of the class. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing. Inhale, look between the hands. And step or hop your feet as far forward as you can. So maybe the heels land at the same place as the fingertips. So your body comes a little bit through your arms. And then sit down. And if you need to, you can scoot right back on your mat. And we'll take a Paschimottanasana, a seated forward fold. So with an inhalation, bring the arms up alongside the ears. Exhale, fold forward with a long spine first. So trying to keep the back long, sending the chest forward. And then when you can't reach anymore, let the back round. Finally. And you can hold on to the feet, the ankles, the legs, whatever works for you. And we'll take 5 breaths here, taking this pose in a really active version. So with your inhalation, send your chest forward, and with your exhalation, fold a little bit deeper. Inhale, chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chest. Exhale, fold. One more time, inhale, chest. And exhale, fold. And now that we're right up against that edge, that very thin gray line between discomfort and pain, we're going to use our willpower and our mental energy to keep ourselves right on that line. So really pressing up against that discomfort pain line, really extending the entire backside of the body. So from the toes all the way around the backside of the body, over the head to the eyebrows, full body stretch. And then whatever it is that you're holding onto, be it your feet, your ankles, or your calves, we're gonna let go. We're gonna let our body kind of just hang forward. Bending the elbows, you can turn the palms up. The elbows may or may not touch the ground. You may be a little bit higher up. But the key here is that we're going to relax the legs and relax the torso and really let the head hang down. So when we stop pulling forward, we let the stretch move into different places. So when you really let go, you may begin to feel the stretch not in the calves or the hamstrings, but maybe in the middle of the back or the upper back or even into the neck. And those are really important places to stretch too. So we'll stay here just hanging out, letting gravity do the work for us now. No stress or pressure or pulling. Just relaxing forward for another 5 to 10 breaths. And just walk the hands back towards the hips, moving really carefully. And the next seated stretch that we're going to take is a seated twist. So we'll take the left leg over the right leg. And we'll take the right arm around the left knee and the left hand behind us so that this heel of the hand is facing the sacrum. With an inhalation, we're going to lift the chest, get tall through the spine. And as we exhale, we're going to press into this leg to turn the belly over to the left first, then the chest and the shoulders, and last turn the head and neck over the left shoulder. So we're really trying to keep the shoulders even. We're trying to keep the spine long, really thinking about this twist coming from the base of the spine and moving to the top of the head. And really, really, really engaging through the core to stay strong and tall and really support the spinal column in this twist. This extended leg, we want to stay strong. You can flex the right foot and kind of imagine your internal organs kind of being wrung out, cleaned up, getting rid of any kind of not nice things that might be hanging around in there. And with inhalation, we'll get a little bit taller through the spine. And exhale, twist a little bit deeper. And inhale, get tall again. And then exhale, untwist, nice and slow, head, shoulders, ribs, and belly. And then we'll take the same thing on the other side. So switch the legs, left leg out, right leg over. And then we'll take the right hand behind us with the heel of the hand facing the sacrum. Wrap the left arm around the right knee. Inhale for length through the spine, get tall. And then exhale, twist from the belly, ribs, chest, and lastly, shoulders, head, and neck. Again, trying to keep the shoulders as even as possible, really keeping that twist supported by engaging this core, thinking about the spinal column staying tall and just rotating on one single axis. And then inhale, get really tall. Exhale, twist a tiny bit deeper. Inhale, get tall again. And exhale, undo that twist from the head, shoulders, ribs, and belly. And then uncross the legs, scoot your hips forward, and we'll lay back on the mat. We'll take a really easy spinal extension. We'll take a bridge pose. So bringing the soles of the feet to the ground, take the hands next to the hips, pressing the hands into the ground. We're just gonna peel the hips up off the ground. If you want to, you can tuck your shoulders underneath you, interlace the fingers, and then press the whole length of the arm into the ground. Engage the legs so that the knees are coming in towards each other. The knees do not have to touch each other, but you want to keep the knees safe by engaging the muscles to keep them coming inwards. Then take one more breath in here. You can lift the hips a tiny bit higher. And then undo this pose by untucking the shoulders. Place the hands on the mat as brakes, and then slowly lower the hips back down to the ground. Take the knees into the chest. You can wrap the arms around the shins and just really gently move from side to side. A really tiny little back massage, rolling the lower back into the ground. And then we'll take one more of these. So again, place the soles of the feet into the ground, hands on the ground next to the hips, pressing into the hands, peel the hips up off the ground, and then you can tuck your shoulders underneath you, interlace the fingers, pinky edge down against the ground, hips up. Again, engaging the legs to keep the knees coming in towards each other. And then untucking the shoulders, placing the hands on the ground as a runway, and lowering the hips really nice and slow down towards the ground. And then again, knees into the chest, fingers on the shins, really gentle rocking side to side, massaging the lower back. And then we'll take a shoulder stand here. So placing the hands next to the hips, sending the feet straight up towards the ceiling. We're going to come into this shoulder stand through plow pose. So press into the hands to bring the feet up and over so that the toes come down towards the ground behind you. And then bring the hands to the lower back. Try to keep all the fingers pressed together. You can tuck your shoulders underneath you just like in your bridge pose, and then lower the feet straight up to the ceiling. We'll come out of our shoulder stand the same way we got in. So lower the feet back down towards the ground behind you, coming towards your plow pose. And then put the hands on the ground alongside the hips. Lower the hips down towards the ground really nice and slowly, trying to put one vertebra on the ground at a time. And when your hips touch the ground, you bend the knees and put the soles of the feet on the ground. As a counter pose for this, we're actually going to extend the legs out in front of us. And then our shoulder stand and in our bridge poses, we kind of crunch the front side of the neck. So we're going to stretch out the front side of the neck in a modified fish pose. So press into the hands and the forearms to come up into a kind of half-seated pose. And from this pose, we're going to open up the chest, so really send the chest up towards the ceiling and let the head relax back. And all we're doing in this pose is just stretching the front side of the neck. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can come onto the top of the head. It doesn't really work well with the bun, actually. But you can put the very top of your head on the mat, but try not to put any pressure on the head. So the pressure is still in the elbows. And then come back up to your half-seated position. And lower your body back down to the ground. And as we start to get ready to come into our Shavasana pose, our final resting pose, you can take any last little stretches or movements that you need in order to feel complete. So for me, this is usually a happy baby pose. So if you want to take happy baby pose, you can reach between the knees and grab the feet and really do any sort of weird, strange movements that you need to get any last little kinks out. I usually have to pop my hips and stretch from side to side. You can stretch both legs at the same time. Really just move around the way a happy baby might, holding onto its feet. You can let go of your feet, you can do a little bug, whatever works for you. Any last little movements that you need to get out of your system before we come into that final resting pose. And as you're ready, really no rush, but as you're ready, you can come into your Shavasana by sending your legs straight out in front of you, arms alongside the body. You can tuck your shoulders underneath you, tuck your hips underneath you. The feet can roll in or out, whatever is more comfortable for you. You can take other variations of this pose too. If you want, you can put your feet together in a Baddha Konasana. You can also put the soles of the feet on the ground and let the knees fall in. This can be really restorative to the lower back. If it's more comfortable for you to have your hands on your chest and your belly, that are also fine. Once you settle into your Shavasana pose, just let your eyes close. And we'll just take one really big breath together. So with an inhalation in through your nose, breathe all the way down into your belly, feel the belly expand, feel your torso expand, feel your whole body lift up away from the ground, feel yourself grow, get taller, and hold that breath for one moment, and sip in a tiny bit more air through your nose. Keep holding, and sigh it all out through your mouth. And then shift your attention to your face and your head and your neck. So notice any places that are tense. Check in especially with your forehead. Relax your forehead, eyebrows, cheeks. Relax your mouth, relax your jaw. Make sure your shoulders and your neck is relaxed. And then notice all of the places where your body is touching the ground. So your hips, shoulders, heels, legs, maybe your elbows, your hands. Really feel all of those connections with the ground. And see if you can let yourself become a little bit heavier. So sink just a little bit deeper into the ground. And for the next 3 minutes, just really appreciate this stillness and this quiet sensation in the body. If your mind starts racing, that's okay. Just notice it and try to let those thoughts pass you by and refocus on the stillness in the body. And slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, just gently inviting movement back into your body. Roll the wrists and the ankles. Reach overhead, take a big stretch. From your fingertips to your toes. And draw your knees to your chest, wrap your arms around your shins, little hug. And roll onto your right side. You can use your bottom arm as pillow. Let the top shoulder fall down towards the ground. You can keep your eyes closed. Just take a couple more breaths of rest. Then use your hands on the ground to press yourself back up to seated, moving nice and slowly. Finding yourself in a comfortable seated position on the mat. Bringing your hands together in front of the heart. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. As always, thank you so much for practicing with me today. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.